Hello, and welcome to another session of So Here's What Happened. In today's session, we are going to review incorrect setup of the IN or inventory account codes. I've noticed a growing variance between my inventory GL account and my inventory valuation. Recently, my inventory manager created a new inventory account code. I really don't know where to begin looking for the issue. Let's go fix that. To begin, we're going to begin by looking at the general ledger and our transaction view and filter to my inventory account. And I'm going to filter to the fiscal year of 2023, where my problem really began. After applying the filter, I want to look at the source of all of my entries and make sure that all of the entries look appropriate. In this case, we see some entries from manufacturing, purchase order, service director, sales order, and warehouse management. Nothing out of the ordinary. So next, I want to begin by looking at my inventory valuation and which account codes are being used. To do this, we'll head to inventory, our valuation view, and I'm going to group my valuation by the account code. In doing this, I can get a good sense of which account codes are being used for inventory valuation purposes. In this case, I can see that we have inventory IN account codes 01 to 06 and one for CM, or my consignment location. Next, I want to focus on these account codes and just double check the setup. And to do this, we're going to head to inventory, setup and maintenance, and our IN account codes. Now, keep in mind, we may have IN account codes being used for other purposes for things like maybe expense items or non-stock item purchases. So to begin, I'm going to filter to the IN account codes, which are on my valuation report. In other words, all of these IN account codes are impacting my valuation report. So I want to double check the GL accounts being used. Next, I'm going to pull all of the accounts together that are used when we add inventory or remove inventory. So in this case, we have our primary inventory account. And I can see that for all of these, I'm using account 120000 or 129000. In other words, these look appropriate. Of course, I'm using this IN account code for a consignment location, so really I'm focused on this inventory account. Next, let's look at the accruals. This is going to be used whenever I receive inventory, but I do not invoice it. In other words, goods received, not invoiced. In this example, I am putting my inventory to my primary inventory GL account, which in many cases is appropriate. In other words, when I receive inventory, it's going to go to my primary inventory account. When it's invoiced, it's going to remain in that primary inventory account. Next, I want to look at my inventory adjustment account. This account is going to be used whenever there is an inventory adjustment. In other words, maybe a inventory or warehouse management transaction to increase or decrease inventory, or maybe a physical count. Now, in this case, I look down the list and I spot my problem. We are using an expense account here. So many people might incorrectly assume that the inventory adjustment is an expense account, when in fact, if I do an inventory adjustment, this is indicating which inventory GL account to use. In this case, I'd really prefer to use my primary inventory general ledger account. The offset to that will be our COGS adjustment. So we can see here our COGS adjustment, those appear to all be expense accounts. Next, let's look at that in transit. Whenever I move inventory from one location to another using warehouse management, how do I want to value that inventory? In this example, I'm moving it to a different asset account. And last, we can see our last asset account here is our work in process used with manufacturing. For finished good items, indicates which account should be used when inventory is removed and not yet rolled into a finished good. In other words, work in process. And we can see here we're using a 1230 account. So it looks like I hit my issue here with our incorrect inventory adjustment account. In many cases, you might find it most appropriate to set your inventory, your accrual, and your inventory adjustment to the same inventory GL across the three. Now we might end up doing a raw materials and a finished good, in which case they would match as well. Hopefully this was helpful, and of course, now you can go fix that.